The Battle of Tours. The sun rising over a misty battlefield. Two massive armies facing off across the plains. As the sun rose on October 10th, 732 AD, two colossal armies faced each other on the plains between Tours and Poitiers. The fate of Europe hung in the balance, and the events of this single day would shape the course of history for centuries to come. Map of Europe. Zooming in on the Iberian Peninsula, then shifting north toward France. On one side stood the Umayyad forces, led by Abdul Rahman Al Ghafiqi. Fresh from their conquest of the Iberian Peninsula, they were poised to push deeper into the heart of Europe. Facing them was the Frankish army, commanded by Charles Martel, mayor of the palace of the Merovingian kingdom. A confident Al Ghafiqi leading his troops, Charles Martel strategizing with his commanders. The stage was set for a battle that would determine the future of Western civilization. Thunderous cavalry charge, Umayyad riders galloping, dust rising behind them as they stormed toward the Frankish lines. The battle began with the Umayyad cavalry charging toward the Frankish lines. Their horses thundered across the field, kicking up clouds of dust as they closed in on their enemies. But Charles Martel had anticipated this move, Frankish soldiers standing firm on higher ground, defensive square formation. He had positioned his troops on higher ground, forming a defensive square, a tactic that would prove critical in the grueling hours ahead. Intense hand-to-hand combat, swords clashing, shields locking, and soldiers struggling in brutal melee combat. Narrator. As the Muslim riders crashed against the Frankish shield wall, a fierce melee erupted. Swords clashed, spears thrust, and men fell on both sides. For hours, the air filled with the cries of the wounded and the clash of metal on metal. The battle raged without a clear advantage for either side. Heavy cavalry charging, armored Frankish horsemen smashing into the Umayyad flanks. But Charles Martel had an ace up his sleeve. In a bold move, he unleashed his heavy cavalry. These armored horsemen, the forerunners of the knights who would later dominate European battlefields, smashed into the Umayyad flanks with devastating force. Horses and men colliding, the Umayyads reeling from the assault. The tide of battle began to shift. The Muslim forces, accustomed to swift victories, found themselves locked in a brutal struggle against a disciplined and unyielding enemy, Abdul Rahman Al Ghafiqi leading a daring charge into the Frankish lines, chaos all around. As exhaustion set in, Abdul Rahman Al Ghafiqi, in a desperate attempt to rally his forces, led a charge directly into the heart of the Frankish formation. It was a bold move, but one that would cost him dearly. Close-up of the battle, confusion, Al Ghafiqi falling in combat. In the chaos of close-quarters combat, the Umayyad leader was struck down by Frankish warriors. His death sent shockwaves through the Muslim army, Muslim forces breaking ranks, chaos spreading as the retreat begins. With their commander fallen, confusion spread through the Umayyad ranks. What had once been an organized assault now unraveled into a disorganized retreat. Frankish forces surging forward in a counterattack, driving the enemy from the battlefield. Seizing the moment, Charles Martel ordered a full counterattack. The Frankish forces surged forward, driving their enemies back and turning the retreat into a rout. The battlefield at dusk, littered with bodies, smoke rising from campfires. As night fell, the battlefield fell silent. The Umayyad army, once seemingly unstoppable, lay broken. Thousands of bodies littered the ground, a stark testament to the high stakes for which both sides had fought. Map of Europe, showing the halted Umayyad expansion, with imagery of Frankish rulers rising to power. The Battle of Tours was more than just a clash of armies. It was a turning point in history. Charles Martel's victory not only halted the Muslim advance into Western Europe, but also solidified his place as one of history's great military leaders. The ripple effects of this battle are still felt today. The defense of Europe's Christian heartland helped shape the continent's future and allowed the rise of the Carolingian Empire under Martel's grandson, Charlemagne. Sunset over the fields of Tours, a solemn reminder of the battle fought there. The Battle of Tours remains a defining moment in world history, a reminder of the battles fought for the future of civilization. History, shaped by warriors and leaders, is often decided in a single day, on a single battlefield. Thank you for watching. If If you enjoyed this deep dive into history's greatest moments, please like, comment, and subscribe.